Hey everybody, it's Tracey Valk here. Let's give it a minute and see if anyone is able to join us, and then we'll get started. I'm just gonna make sure I'm in the right spot too, because I have been having a couple of little issues with this group, but I see a couple of people joining. So if you're with me and you see the live button, you can say hello. If you're watching later, #replay. And of course, pop any comments or questions below, and we'll answer them as we go, or I'll check back a little bit later and see if there's anything to answer. So say hello if you're joining me. And I'm just gonna give it a minute to see if anyone else joins. If you're watching this later, you can probably skip ahead a minute. And we're gonna get into do a little bit more tips on turning a host into a business partner. Hey, Kim. Okay, good. My comments are popping up. Perfect. All right. So say hello. We've got a couple more people joining, so let's just give it 30 more seconds. I apologize. I was going to try and schedule this, hey Leah, so that I could tell you when I was coming, but it's just been one of those days. Nothing is scheduled. So, but that's the best part about this job, right? Hey, Christine. Okay, so we've got a good amount of people joining. Again, if you're watching later, please #replay. Okay, so I did listen a bit to Leah's live yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to listen to all of it. So maybe there's going to be some stuff. I'm sure there's going to be some stuff that we both are talking about that's the same. But I imagine if there's things that we both talk about, it's because they're successful and they work. So those are the things you should really write down and pay attention to. And I think this is a really important topic because I will share quite truthfully that this is not something I did for probably 4 years in my business. Just not at all. And it was really a mindset of my own that I wasn't, when I first started working with Epicure, I wasn't actually intending to do anything of what I'm doing right now. It really was just enjoying getting my own free products. And so when I did start doing cooking classes, it wasn't even until a couple of years in. And that's kind of one of the things I share with my team now. Like, I really wish now that I didn't wait so long, but I just wasn't involved in that way at first. And that's okay. But I do use this as a personal share, when I'm talking about the business now. If I had known then what I know now, I would have been doing this the whole time, right? So this is something I definitely missed out a huge chunk of time on and missed probably a lot of opportunities in this area. So I do like really sharing that and, sharing that don't be shy about this. Just jump in and do this, because the worst that's going to happen is your host is going to say, no, it's not for me, right? So my best tips are, I've just got it in like kind of bullet form here, and I'll expand on each one. So my idea is that you should always start before sales come in. So I know that Leah was talking yesterday about what happens and how do you have the conversation when a host class is successful. And that's a big part of it. What I've been doing lately though is really trying to have this conversation before anything even begins. I want the host to be at a point where they've got excited guests and they're ready to go and they've kind of done that work, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But they've already done a lot of that work. They've done those host coaching steps, and they've put in that effort, and they're really excited because they've got a lot of guests and they're really thinking that their class is going to be successful. So that's kind of when I want to start this conversation. And so I ask them before the class begins, can we have this quick little conversation about, the business opportunity and what that looks like, and see if they're interested. And what's great this month is obviously we have even more of a reason to share that opportunity with them because they can use their host credits afterwards towards part of their kit. So what I really want to stress though is, and I have paid more attention to this as the last year or two have gone by, because I didn't at first. I was just so excited if someone wanted to sign up that I would sign them up right away, even if they really weren't a good potential match for the business. And what I mean by that is you've had a conversation, they're a great host, they're super, super excited, but they straight up say something like, well, I'll have no, I'll do it because it's a great opportunity, it's a great value, but I have no intention of running cooking classes or doing a launch or anything like that. Then really and truly, could that person potentially be a great consultant down the line? Yes, because I look at my own personal situation and I see that I joined to get the discount, but then kind of look what's happened. However, in most cases, if someone is really, really honestly saying, I'm not gonna, do any training. I don't have time. I'm not gonna host cooking classes. I'm not gonna do that kind of stuff. Truly, they're probably just a better host and they should probably stay that way. And again, I'll get to a little bit later of what I do at that point. But that's just kind of a little tip, because you don't want to have someone who's a great host of yours turn into a dead business partner, right? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't benefit them. They end up getting stressed out about the minimums and putting in qualifying when they are not prepared for it. And then it really doesn't help your team to have someone is only a great number on your team if they're actually succeeding, right? So keep that in mind. So again, yeah, what the thing is, so they just have to be invested. So because someone doesn't want to run a business doesn't mean that they won't be a great consultant though. So there's a little bit of a difference there. There's a bit of a gray area, right? There's someone who just has no interest and just wants to get the kit at a great deal and kind of says, okay, yeah, whatever, let's do it, but I have no intention. They're not a great business partner. Someone though who says, I think it's a great opportunity. I don't really want to run a business, but I'm open to having you help me at least launch so I have a customer pool. That's different. That can still be a great, solid consultant, someone who is consistent, someone who is, really got a great little pool of customers, isn't looking to run towards leadership or have a full-time income. However, they are invested and at least interested in, they're going to jump in, they're going to potentially at least launch their business. They have every intention on learning, the back office and things like that. That's different. Okay. And so that is the difference. So I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? Just the difference there. I was someone who was at least interested. I wanted to know how everything worked. I wasn't intending on running a business at the time, but I was intending on staying an active consultant. Okay, so does that make sense? And again, sometimes you never know. Sometimes, yes, someone can be completely uninterested and turn it into something different, though you really have to listen to what people are saying and really pick up on those cues, because maybe that person too, it's just not the right time. So maybe someone who isn't interested and stays a great host down the road, the opportunity will be better for them when they can be more invested. So there's that. So you want to share, of course, how hosting this month is really key, because we have this promotion through head office. So one of the great things that Suki mentioned that I liked was, let's say you have started getting sales in your host cooking class. Let's say people are just ordering early, or they weren't sure and they wanted to see how it goes. Well, as soon as that class gets to 250 and 4 customers, that's where you want to have that conversation again. Okay, you wanted to see how it was going. Well, it's qualified. So what do you think now? Should we close this out? Use those benefits where you can use your minimum of $45 right now you're getting for this minimum qualified class or your half price item. Should we talk about it now? Because we can close this out right now. You can join and you can take any of the rest of the sales and close your own first cooking class. So that conversation is key once the class also gets going and is turning out to be successful. Anything overqualified is successful, right? Especially to someone who's on the fence and they're kind of unsure, like, oh, I'll just see how it goes. I'm not really sure if people will be interested. As soon as it's qualified, they know that that would be a shoo-in for them to do on their own. They've got customers and they've got, interested friends and family who will, be enough to qualify their own classes. So that's a really important time to have that conversation and kind of switch it around. One of the things you want to talk about with a host who already has the benefits is, let's look at the numbers. So let's say they use their half price credit for the business kit. That's going to cost them $62.50 in Canada, $49.50 in the US for it to get it at half price. Let's take the Canadian price. If they were a host and wanted to get the steamer, for example, that's a $59.95 value just alone, plus tax and shipping. And so, if they had even again that inkling that they might be interested and they might go for it and give it a shot, for an extra $2.55 over and above just getting the steamer, they could get the business kit, which for me, the business kit, I almost don't call it a business kit. I call it really an opportunity at something amazing, right? They have this opportunity to create an income with my help. I always make sure that I say that you are doing this with my help. And, you've already done half the work by being an amazing host. And, so that is actually the hardest part. Being an amazing host, getting people interested, getting people there on time, joining, that's the hardest part. You've already done that. So you've done, what is really one of the most difficult things in our business. And it was a success. So for that extra $2.55, you get the steamer plus all this other stuff, but with it, you get an opportunity to do something that you wouldn't have a chance to do otherwise, right? And that is really kind of the wording that you should be using. You should be saying, what would it be worth to you to have an opportunity to make an income, to have some fun, to get some free products, to meet people, to potentially earn free travel? What would it be worth to you? Is it worth that extra $2.55? And so when you have a couple of numbers that you can share like that, that really does put it into perspective. So you can you can use your freebies on a $59.95 steamer, which I know you really want, or you can spend an extra, $2.55, use it as a half price item to get that kit. And who knows what can happen, right? And my goal is to help you see what's possible by ensuring that you have all of the training that you need, by having all the information that you need, and by helping you in this, in your first class, which will be what we call your business launch. Okay, good, Christine. I'm glad that you're liking what I'm sharing. Okay. Again, remind them everything they're already doing to coach their guests to being there at their class or what they've already done, which was successful because they already have credits, right? Is what you would do in your own classes. It's exactly the same, right? And so just remind them that this isn't like a crazy difficult thing. We are doing what you've already done and cooking, which you already do in your kitchen. Like that's really the basis of it. Anything else you need to know happens once you're already a consultant. We go through a really easy and quick training program, and I'm here at any time to help you answer any questions that come up. So just really again, like making people feel comfortable knowing that this isn't much more difficult than what they already do. And though you're always there, as well as our, the rest of our organization, leadership team to help them. Sharing that we have the systems already in place. They don't have to recreate the wheel here. All of the systems that they need to be successful are already laid out. So that's just really that important information. And by the way, like I know I'm talking a lot, I'm talking fast. These are simple things to share with someone. I'm going into detail with you, but when you share this with someone, for example, here's what I say. When someone asks me about, okay, so I kind of want to know, like, what does it take to be a consultant? Usually I say something like, here's what happens. Step 1, you buy your kit. Step 2, you take our training program, which we now have in a quick little, video module, runs through everything. And there's certainly some things you can read or watch videos depending on your learning style. But, take the training. I help coach you and, get you launched in your first cooking class. And all you're doing is you're cooking, you're eating, you're taking a few photos, you're sharing that with your community, you're getting people excited, and that's running a business with Epicure. Once, and that's it. I don't say, do you have any questions? Do you want to know more? Do you want me to send you some PDFs? I don't have to say that. It's really just sharing that, is there some more to it behind the scenes? Yeah, a little bit, but we get into that once you're a consultant. You don't even need to know that right now. There's some things that you can learn as you go, and there's always training. Our organization is amazing. We all work together. So if there's something that you want to know down the road about fundraising, I'll point you in the right direction. If there's something you want to know about different ways to run a cooking class, I'll point you in the right direction. But what you need to know right now is you buy the kit, you take the training module, and you start cooking. And that's it. The rest I help you with. So keep it very, very, very simple. And again, I share this from experience. I probably used to give way too many details and would overwhelm someone. And now I know that they don't need any of that information. Now, if you have someone who that is their learning style, you're going to pick up on that. They're going to automatically say, okay, I do have a few questions and let's just get to them. And they will give you a couple of questions and you're just going to go bam, bam, bam. You're going to answer them with the simple, quick sentences as well, right? Yes, people don't need to wait. And that's another thing. You know what? That's a great point, Leah. What I've been saying too is I actually kind of asked the question, what would make you not do this? Like, what would really make you not do this? It's actually quite simple. And when I say that, most times people actually kind of go, I don't really know. I don't really think there is anything. All right, then let's get you signed up and we'll get you started. And that's how you keep it super simple, right? Sharing the math is great. Let's say you have a $500 class and yes, that's going to get you ABC in benefits. But let's say you were a consultant and you had that same $500 class, you're going to get ABCD in benefits and you're going to get $125 off that class back in commission. How does that sound? Right? So sharing the numbers with them. And again, if they've already had a class that's successful and and yeah, don't worry, Christine, we all do it at one point. And that's why we're sharing this now so that you get into that habit of not doing that, because I did it for like 2 years. I shared way too much for 2 years. And then I was like, that's not working. If they already have a class, that's qualified and the benefits are there, share that means they already have a business. They already have a business. You just had a $1,000 class. You had 12 customers. You already have a business. You don't need to think, oh my gosh, is this going to work? You already have a business. Number one, you already have 12 invested customers to start with. And imagine how many connections those 12 people who already love what you're doing or what you're going to be doing could do to expand that. So let put that mindset into them that they already have a business if they had a successful class. Okay, so that's really, really key. Share something personal. So for me, if someone says, like, what can you really earn, right? Some people say, what can you really earn? And I see Sandra on here. Sandra, I know we have a call in like a minute, so we might be a few minutes late. Okay, as soon as I'm off here, I'm jumping on that call with you. So I hope that's okay. I thought I had more time. Okay, share something personal. If you don't have a personal story yet, you can share mine, you can share someone else's. I started to get a discount, and now I have a full-time business. I retired from my 23-year, very physical career that cost me a lot of money. I put in more money into being a massage and sports therapist every year than I put into this business, even with all the apps that I pay for. And certainly because I'm at a leader level, I'm paying for apps and those things to run my business more smoothly. I paid more a year in that business that was wearing my body down, than I ever do in this. And I now earn much more than I was. I was able to retire at 44. And that was never even in my thought process when I signed up to do this. I get to help people every single day do the same. That has become something that, again, I never even dreamed of doing this kind of stuff, being a leader, being kind of a mentor. And I am just loving being able to have people succeed. When I get messages from people saying, especially new consultants, and I share this, I get messages saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe how receptive people were. I can't believe how successful that was. I can't even believe it. Like, I've already earned like 3 times what I put into the kit. I share those stories, right? Share those little snippets of how much of an opportunity this can be. Now, I always say you get in what you put out. Effort, like results match with effort. So again, if someone's just going to join up and do nothing, they're not a good candidate and nothing's going to happen. And, and also remember this, as someone, as a leader, I'm also not going to invest my time in someone who's not investing their time. That's really important too. If you've got someone who's dead weight and has no interest, you're not going to give them all that energy. You want to save that for the ones who need it and who want it. And that sounds kind of harsh, but there's only a certain time that you'll give to someone. If they're not matching that, you need to move on. So that's where you really got to listen to someone in the beginning. If they're not going to put in any effort, they're just not a good candidate. And some people might disagree with that and they'd say, nope, just get the numbers. But personally, I don't. And so, that's just my take on it. And last point, here's the thing that's really important. If someone is really, really, really a no, like really a no, and they're like, no, it's just not for me, but I love hosting and I will be an epic host, for you, blah, blah, blah. Number one, it's totally off topic, but you always get your hosts to rebook. If you're not doing that, you're missing the boat on that. If your host is a no to the business opportunity, they already should have their next cooking class booked. And usually for me, I have hosts that host every new catalog. So I have a whole bunch of hosts that host, every January, May, September, and they're just a shoo-in. They're guaranteed. It's like I don't even have to put it on the calendar. I know that they're going to do it. So if you're not doing that, do that. And so if they're really, really, really a no, one tip is you can ask them, okay, so you're a no, but I know you love this. And now that I've had this conversation with you and I've shared some of the ins and outs, who do you know from your class that might be interested or might be awesome? Could you give me 3 names? Could you come up with 3 names? And if those 3 names, you're going to reach out to them. If they're interested in joining me on a quick conversation call, we can do it together or separate with you. I'll give you and them a little gift. And I send them a little gift, right? As a thank you for joining that call. So you want to have this done before the class is closed. And so ask your host. Your host can probably say, well, you know what though? I love Megan, like everything she shares. She's like always posting about food. She's got 2 kids. She's always cooking. She, she has some time, or, whatever. Like just get them to come up with 3 names and see if those 3 people are interested. So if your host is a definite no, ask for referrals, right? So that's all I got. I hope that helps. I'm sure there's a million other, tips and things. I think we've got some more leaders coming on to do the same and sharing. But if you've got a good tip, share it below. I want to hear it. And, if you start working on some of the things that Leah and I have shared over the past couple of days, pop it below. Tell us what you're going to switch around. What are you going to do differently? What are you going to do more of? And then share if you get some results. All right. Have a great day, everyone. I'm late for my call with Sandra. Gotta go. Bye.